This channel supports Extra Life in its efforts to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network. For more information about how to donate and join in their efforts, go to the link displayed here. Extra Life. Play games, heal kids. Hey guys, before we start with the main body of the review, I failed to mention a part of the show. I did this last episode, and I really need to stop skipping over this because I get extra excited over certain elements of this story. But just real briefly, one element I forgot to talk about before was that Tyrion and Daenerys had a discussion where Daenerys tried to get a sense of who Tyrion was. First, she had confronted him about Mormont and asked him what would she do with him, how would he feel about it, and he basically told her, "Hey, you're probably just gonna have to get rid of this guy because even though he's very loyal to you, he loves you very much. He did work with people to lie, so you're probably best not having him within the city." So Mormont is once again banned from Daenerys' sight, which is pretty sad. Then they had their own personal conversation where she tried to get a judge of what he wanted, how he thought, and he basically let her know, "Hey, I was told by Varys that you were probably the best hope for the kingdom, and I wanted to see what type of person you are, and I trust Varys because even though he lies for a living, hey, Varys is a smart man." So that conversation went pretty interesting. Looks like they're starting a possible good relationship because he gave her some very good advice, letting her know like what you need to do and things like that. So hopefully this works out and she doesn't kill our boy Tyrion. Now, apologies for this, but on to the main review. And again, I'll try to make sure to not skip over parts again. What up, everybody? This is your boy Black Magus, and Game of Thrones Season 5, Episode 8 was fucking ridiculous. Seriously, this episode was crazy. Crazier than any we've seen. I'm sure, again, a lot of you have been complaining about the pacing of the show. I think the pacing has been very well, especially since it's set up such a moment like this. Now I'm sure all of you guys are sitting at the edge of your seat like, what the fuck is going on here? So I guess we're gonna start like I did the last time. Let's do the least impactful to the most impactful. Least impactful, I guess, would be Arya. We get to see a bit more Arya as she's learning the ways of the god of the many faces. She's starting to become more acclimated with things in that area. Now, as she's learning the ways, she's been given an assignment to pretend to be a little girl on the docks. That's something that happened in the books, but of course we saw the interaction a little differently. I'm really digging the changes, the modifications that they've made so far to the story. I think it really puts it in a place that everybody can understand and appreciate. I think one of the biggest problems that has happened with the books is that there's been so much written about. There's so many threads that it's kind of gotten a little out of sorts. All the ties, the ways that he's trying to tie in all of the threads has become a daunting task. I mean, it's really a daunting task. There's a lot going on. I think the show has kind of simplified things just a little bit. It helps that each episode they only focus on certain things and they get back to other elements when need be. They also don't necessarily try to push those threads together in a way that George Martin has done. I think one of the biggest problems was books 4 and 5. He had to break everything up and do one half of the story and then the next half of the story, and then now he has to smush those two things together. Whereas here they've kind of just, I guess, streamlined it. So with Arya's story, we've got a little streamlining as now she's working on the docks, she's observing things like that. Now she's been given her first assignment, it seems like, which is to assassinate this crooked merchant gambler. He basically convinces captains to give up their lives so they could pay his family, and then he swindles them out of their money and things like that. He's a pretty complicated, fucked up system that he has going on there. So Arya's been assigned to keep observing him, finding out more, and then when she's ready, to go ahead and take him out to help serve the God of the Many Faces. So basically, Arya's an assassin. That's what she's becoming. Hey, it works. It's something that she wants, because if she becomes good at it, I'm sure she'll be more than happy to deal out some punishment to her family's enemies. Sansa, we had a little bit of interaction with her and Theon, where she finds out that Theon did not kill her brothers. So now Sansa knows her brothers are alive. That's going to be interesting to see how that's going to develop, because she's in a bit of a spot with being married to Ramsay Snow, who don't seem the kind that's going to be willing to help her find her brothers, especially since now that she knows her brothers are alive, hey, she may not necessarily be able to be held as the only tie to the North for the Ramsays. They got to get rid of her brothers, because even if they kill her off eventually, which they're probably thinking of doing after they get her pregnant, hey, you still got other Starks out there that are older than the child of Sansa Stark, who have a stronger claim at that point. So, yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Speaking of Ramsay, he's deciding to be a little bold. He's decided, hey, I just need some men, and I'm gonna go after Stannis Baratheon. It's gonna be interesting to see if he goes after Stannis and actually comes through and murders Stannis. That would be a shame if they got rid of Stannis like that. But I kind of want to see a bigger battle. I want to see the fight go down, like a full fight, not just Ramsay do some sneak shit, kill Stannis, and that be the end of the whole tale of Stannis Baratheon. I don't know. We'll see. I would like it to be the end of Ramsay. Ramsay needs to die because he's a son of a bitch. Nobody cares for Ramsay. Although he's a compelling character, so I guess he has to stick around a little bit longer. But fuck Ramsay. But so we have that dynamic setting up. Now, Cersei. Cersei is getting her comeuppance. She's pretty much getting treated like shit in prison. They're trying to get her to confess, but she refuses to confess because Cersei's pride is way too fucking, like, she has too much pride. And she will never back down, kneel, because she would rather die living a lie than to be honest, because she's Cersei. That's just Cersei. They even brought what's that guy, Quirin or whatever his name is, to try to like talk to her, maybe manipulate her to confess. Shit didn't work. Nope. Cersei's gonna go down swinging. Good. Fuck you, Cersei. Die. Nobody cares. Just suffer a little bit longer before they finally met out their justice to you, because she's fucked. You know, Lancel has told everything. Like, she's stuck. Marjorie and Loras, they have an out. You know, they've done something. They can say, we're sorry, we forgive it. They've done the sin. She has a lot of, like, shit built up. Incest, murder, all types of bullshit. You know, she's done way too much. So, Cersei's fucked. At least I hope she's fucked. But, now, let's get to the biggest part, which, goddamn, y'all did a good job of doing the switch. Now, we have yet in the books to really get an accounting of what the White Walkers are and what they can do, just how bad they are. You had the attack at the hill, where Sam eventually killed one of the walkers with dragon glass. things like that. But you've yet to really see them in the book. You just know that this is that impending doom that's coming to destroy the world. Well, now we get a taste of what that impending doom is and how they're gonna fucking destroy the world. So of course Jon went to go get the wildlings and try to convince them to come back with them. So he goes there. They have a discussion, and finally some decide to leave, some decide fuck you, we don't want to work with the men in black. All right, cool. You don't want to work with the crows, that's fine. So Jon's getting everybody together to take who wants to go with them, women, children, all that, when all of a sudden you start hearing people screaming, yelling outside the walls of the wildling camp, and then they decide, close the gates. So there's some people stuck outside, and you hear them screaming, then you hear them stop screaming. Then you hear a little noise, and all of a sudden, shit starts breaking down the wall. The fucking dead. The dead are here. They're coming. They're fucking, ferocious. And they just completely mauled the wildlings. The wildlings had, Jon was taking 5,000 with him. I believe they said there were some 10,000, maybe more. Didn't matter how many of them there were. All the dead just completely demolished them. It was such a crazy battle. Just people being bodied all over the place. And of course they had a little foreshadowing, because I knew that chick who put her daughters on the ship was going to get bodied, and of course she did, although they kind of did a really fucked up way of killing her by having a bunch of little undead children kill her. I was like, damn, that just made this even worse, because you saw her just look at the children and kind of submit herself, because she was just so fucked up. I'm sure the thought was crossing through her mind, oh my god, this could be my daughters, and then she gets wrecked by them, things like that. So Jon and them in a hellacious fight. Jon's trying to get the dragon glass back, and he goes with one of the Thins to go get it. Well, he runs into one of the, I guess the majors, we should call them, of the White Walkers, who of course bodies the Thin like it was nothing. As soon as his spear touched the guy's steel, it shattered the steel and he killed him. So now Jon's in a fight with the guy and he's getting wrecked. And then of course he finally gets back to Mormont's sword, and as soon as he goes to block, the spear doesn't shatter the sword, and that sent me off. I marked out at that moment, because I came to the realization, which I'm sure some of you have came to the realization, that it's not just dragon glass that can help Valyrian steel, because after Jon took the spear on the guard of his blade, he slashed the guy and he exploded into shards. So not only is dragon glass the key to take these things down, but Valyrian steel. Now maybe there's something within Valyrian steel. Maybe Valyrian steel is, crafted with some dragon glass in the veins of it. Who knows? But they need to get their asses a bunch of Valyrian steel. This is why the 7 families all have a Valyrian steel sword, because it must harken back to before, when the people of the forest, or whatever they call elves in their realm, they must have taught them a secret about Valyrian steel along with dragon glass to help them defeat these walkers. So at least now we have another key component to defeating them, but it's going to be hard, because as Jon finally escapes, gets on the ship, he's they're sailing off. You see, I guess this is the king of the walkers, I guess. He walks up to the docks as Jon is slowly drifting off. Whoever could escape has escaped, and the rest who were stuck on land get slaughtered. He walks to the pier, he looks at Jon, and then he raises his hand. Everybody who just died raises from the ground, and they're all fucking staring at Jon and his people. All across the whole shoreline, all you see, the dead that have attacked and the dead that have just fallen, that are now risen. That's a problem. That's a serious problem, because they just added a few thousand ranks to their masses. So, this is going to be interesting. Cannot wait to see what happens for the last 2 episodes. There's going to be some crazy shit going on, definitely. But anyway, As always, you guys hit me up. Let me know what you think, and I'll holler at you later. This your boy Black Makers, and I'm out. Deuces.